Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's Catalyst session, Crushing Pilot Season. I'm your host and the Director of Mentoring and Partnerships, Jennifer Plotsky. And our guest tonight is Josy Rodriguez. She is a casting director with Bowling Misha Casting, who has worked on a number of your favorite shows, including Hostages, Blue Bloods, Gotham, and Hightown, and recently wrapped the anticipated Amazon series Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, welcome, Josy. Thank you so much for spending time with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We're excited for all of your insight on pilot season. So I think we should just dive right in. So let's just start at the top. What is, for those people that don't know, what is pilot season? How, compared to what it used to be, how has it changed? Obviously, the television landscape has evolved a lot over the past few years. So what does it look like now?
Well, now it's spread out all over the place. It used to just be confined to certain months, like January to about April.
Mm-hmm.
But now it can happen anytime with streaming. It can happen anytime there are pilots filming all the time and being developed all the time. So yeah, but it's fun for everyone involved. Like right after, whenever everybody just gets settled and like, wow, that was fun. You get to read all new shows and audition for all new producers and directors and all different shows, like all cops and lawyers and all the other cool things in between.
That's awesome. So yeah, it's basically like it's year round at this point, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's more year round.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in light of that, everything having changed, also we're still living in a pandemic, and COVID protocols have impacted the industry, obviously, greatly. How have COVID protocols changed the audition game? Obviously, we're doing a lot more Zoom and self-tapes. So how has that impacted your process on the casting side?
Everything has sped up like times 10. Everything. Everything because of the testing and trying to get and having backups as well, 2 people in case someone tests positive. Everything has gone remote.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't been in a room since March 2020. I think there's good sides and bad sides. I think some of the good is like, you don't have to take off work anymore and sit in an office and travel. Everything is done. Like you can be at work and just ditch out real quick, take a 15-minute break, go do something and come back. So I think that's good for the actors.
Mm-hmm.
For us, we would have sometimes 6 shows at once in 2 taping rooms. So it'd be a lot of like, oh no, what? And then if we get a pilot, this is like everybody keep going in and out, in and out.
Back and forth.
So, that's a positive too for us to have more time with everyone and not be so stressed and having to fight for rooms and yeah, I mean, people's schedules again. That's I think one of the biggest. People having now time to come. There's people that maybe I can't go because I can't take off work that day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now people can just again duck out really quick. Go. I've had people who are teachers and just like go to an empty classroom and just audition real quick in between classes.
That's great.
In bathrooms. There have been several people who have done it in airport bathrooms. Even for our producers, some guy had like a regular blue background, normal. And then he's like, can I tell you guys something? And they're like, what? And he pulled it down. It was an airport bathroom. He was like, I'm in an airport bathroom.
That's amazing.
You never know. They're like, what if somebody knocks? He was like, I put a closed sign on it, one of those like signs that says like, under construction or whatever, and put it on there. He was like, so nobody came in.
Wow. Talk about being ready on the fly. My gosh.
He had the background with him. He just like carried it with him. And I was like,
audition. Hold on. Let me pull it out.
And they were just Morgan's, they loved his audition. They thought he was great, but they're like, well, Morgan's like, how'd you hang it?
Wow, right?
We were just ready. Yeah, everything is definitely sped up 100%. We have to definitely have choices earlier because there's 48 hours before the fitting for a test, a test for a fitting and then all that other stuff. So it definitely has sped everything up.
Right. Yeah, the whole testing thing adds a whole new time component to it.
Yeah. And then you don't know. I mean, everyone thinks they're safe out there, but then you don't know. And then what if you do come up positive? And
right.
That's the whole thing. And then what do we do to replace you? It's all like a very slim amount of time.
Yeah.
All of it done. It was already quick with with the trying to cast in 8 days for an episode, but now it's like even
Yeah.
faster.
Oh my gosh. You guys are superheroes.
Yeah, we get the script and I'm like, oh my God, how are we not cast yet? We just got the script from 10 minutes ago. We need to be
Oh
cast.
my God. Well, on that note, obviously, like you're saying, like you have to have backups and you have, it's opening the opportunities to see a lot more people. How are you finding like new and specific talent? Like, are you watching original series content? Because obviously, like you're doing this from home. So
Yes.
how are you kind of mining that?
Yeah, definitely watch. I watch a lot of stuff, especially New York things, and I love all the shows. Watch the FBI's and everything, and all of our other shows. And yeah, we used to go to plays and to see people. And I do encourage everyone to send and make your own content.
Mhm.
That's always good too. I mean, we're all home right now. We're all bored, so it's good to just make your own stuff too. And I'm cool with seeing that type of stuff. Having someone send like a self tape they did of maybe something they found
Great.
online or something they saw that like kind of touched them and they wanted to get their own spin on it. That's always cool too. And because we're a show, Blue Bloods in our 12th year, we see so many new people. So I'm always open to finding new people and seeing. I've seen kids at their workshops for. I went to the Harlem School of Arts and I saw like a small play, a bunch of kids, and the kids were so good and just they don't get a chance to have agents come see them or anything. It's a small
Right.
school. And I brought an agent friend and I was like, well, I saw this kid, he was really good. We went to the next one and then he got signed.
Oh wow. Oh gosh, that's so great.
Like, hey, look, you never know who's in the audience. You never know who's looking.
You never know. That's great.
People to do like Zoom readings and stuff like that. I've attended a couple readings to watch people do, to work over Zoom. And you got to find new ways to see everything
Yeah.
because you can't be there in person all the time.
Yeah. That's great to know because I know so many, obviously like, for the past 2 years, it's like there's been so little outlet for us to do anything. So it's good that like those things are getting seen and it is still important to like keep putting that out there, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, definitely. I mean, we all have cameras on our phones, on our computers, so
Yeah.
we can all just make different content too.
Thank goodness that all of the technology makes it so much more it's easier,
Man, could you imagine
accessible
like back in the day,
because
like VHS tapes and stuff? Oh my God, the
oh
whole
my gosh.
could have shut down. Like, how are you supposed to even get that to each other?
Right? The one person that has a camcorder in like 1987,
They would be booked for months.
right? So how in terms of casting, how does casting a pilot differ from casting, once you move on to like episodes 3 or 4?
Mhm.
And even, episodes 3 or 4, or like even a next season of something that turns out to be a hit. How is that different from casting the pilot?
Casting the pilot is creating the whole world from the beginning, from everything. So you're establishing the series regulars and the people that will be the regulars on the show. So it's different from that because they'll be carrying the whole show.
Hmm.
Guest star, okay, they're just carrying that episode, but this is people that you put the whole show on their backs. And you have to make sure people have chemistry and like there's two love interests. They have chemistry partners like on Blue Bloods, like Danny and Bias have great chemistry. Vanessa and Will have great chemistry, so that's hard too to see because some people just don't have it. It's not their fault.
Right.
People just don't mesh with each other, and then you can tell there's some things where there's been shows where you can tell like, oh, those people don't like each other, or it's
Yeah.
just like, oh, they don't seem like they would be together.
Right, right, right.
So that's a huge thing too, and we do that on our shows. We'll have chemistry reads with several love interests for our different shows, and then you can see it though. You can see it, and when it's fun too when you do see it. When you see
Yeah.
two people, and you're like, oh wow, they just met, but they just clicked, and that's so cool to see. And it has
Uh,
nothing again to do with anybody's acting abilities, but it's just something
sure.
natural.
Yeah. But that is definitely like a tall order when you're sort of like, especially pairing people and like looking ahead, like you said, like Blue Bloods is 12 seasons. It's like, my gosh, that's a long projection to be able to sort of predict how this is going to go.
And Diddy and Baez have been partners since season 3, and I mean they still have like amazing chemistry together, and it's fun to watch them. And now our fans want them to get together. And to single now. They want them to get together.
That is inside info.
I want that too. I love them.
Oh man, it's so great that it's been going so many seasons and it's so popular. It's just really,
Yeah,
uh,
it continues to be popular. I get people
yeah.
that stop me on the train or the bus and like, from my neighborhood, Josie, I have a story for Blue Bloods. I'm like, I don't write it. And they're like, listen, just get the story out there.
Look, so let me just write this down. Just pass it along.
Happened to me, so I just did. I want a little credit, but it's gonna be on Blue Bloods.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
So it's so difficult to
Yeah,
get all of the right chemistry together and get all the right cast together.
yeah,
Different when you just have somebody just come in for one episode and just have a storyline. But when people have to have a cohesive story, like our family on Blue Bloods, like they're all family.
yeah.
So we have Tom Selleck as the dad, and then Donnie and Bridget and Will are the kids, and the grandfather, and then Donnie has a kid. So it's all just putting pieces together in a puzzle.
Well, and it's amazing to think about, like in talking about series regulars, after 12 seasons and X amount of episodes per season, series regulars all the way down to, the hundreds of co-stars that you cast. Like that's a lot of people and a lot of puzzle pieces to put together. So bravo.
Right now we have 22 roles.
Oh my gosh. Well, okay. So on that note, how many, I guess, not specific to any one co-star or guest star or whatever, how many submissions do you get on average per role? And how many from that do you think you'll take to next steps to a producer session or something like that?
So about 600 is kind of, yeah, a lot. Yeah, just today I was showing my boyfriend all the submissions, like, look at this. And he was like, 600, I gotta go through all that. And I was like, we do. Yeah, just for one role too. And we have 22 roles for this one.
How do you manage that time-wise?
Well, it's all time management.
Oh my gosh. Do you think that it's easier this way? Like, since you're doing self-tapes, does that make it easier on you? Or is it like
Plus we do everything live, so I'll do all of them EcoCast live.
Okay.
Everyone, even like non-speaking, we'll do them all EcoCast live.
Okay.
But I think from that, we'll maybe narrow it down to, I'd say we're like co-stars 25 to 20 people. And then for a producer session, we will still bring in about 5 people from that.
Okay. Wow, great.
So yeah, there's a lot of chances there.
600 down to 5.
Yeah.
Per roll. That's a lot of math.
Yeah. And our show, we still do live producer sessions every other day.
Oh,
so
cool.
Our process is, pre-read, and then they go to producers, and then it will go to our showrunner, and then it will go to Studio Network. So there's many steps in the ladder. It's not our decision solely.
Gotcha. Okay. So obviously, like you said, you're doing virtual, but in terms of the virtual or a self-tape, what are the most important components of that? Like, what are the do not check these boxes?
I think for self-tapes, just you don't have to have anything super fancy. I know people run out and get $1,000 cameras and lights and everything. You don't have to do that. I mean, if you can, great, but you don't feel the pressure to have to do that. Our producers, I know everyone understands that everyone's from home, and as long as you're at a solid background, nothing's moving behind you,
yeah,
you're fine. They could see you. As long as we could see you, we could hear you. Then that's it. The battle is already won.
Yeah.
Live auditions. I know people we use EagleCast Live, and sometimes it's not compatible with everything, with all browsers and stuff like that. So there'll be those things where, okay, maybe I could see you, but I can't hear you, or I can hear you, but I could see you. Okay. So then people start to freak out and, go crazy and keep trying and trying and trying. And I was like, okay, it's not going to work. It's not working right now. It's not going to work. Take a breath. Yeah. Because then people start freaking out. Agents start calling us. And I just let people know that keep it as basic as possible. Even keep as basic as possible. Use the mic and the camera from your computer. You don't do anything external, because especially Cast Live is not built for that yet.
Right.
Still in its very early stages. So when people start using extra things, it just freaks out. It's like, we don't know what this is. And they'll just be boxes. So I tell people just keep it as basic as possible.
Okay.
Even yourself say basic as possible. We're there to watch your work, not to, your fancy camera setup and everything. We don't even see any of that. So
Okay.
you could have this camera and I would not know that it's $1,000 camera or anything. So it
Right.
doesn't even look any different. So just keep it as basic as possible. And yeah, if you have like a technical issue, I mean, I can only speak for our show, but we're cool with it. Like if it doesn't work past 2 times, like I'll bring you out, tell you to sign all the way out, sign back in. Okay, that doesn't work, then we'll just switch to Zoom really quick and that's okay.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's good to know.
Just not
Yeah.
to freak out and not to get too crazy and then because then I think that affects your performance then because now you're nervous and now
Yeah.
you're flustered and now you just forgot everything you prepared.
Yeah. I think that's obviously there was such a learning curve with all of this virtual stuff.
Mhm.
And I think that in the beginning that was giving people more anxiety than the audition. It's like, okay, I can handle this, but what I can't handle is this.
Yeah, just it's a little bit. Even our producers are still like, "Wow, this is crazy." Like we're all home
Yeah.
and we're watching because they were used to watching people in the room with them. We'd go every other day and go into a room at the writer's office, and they would see them live and get to talk to people. But they still wanted to keep that. They still wanted to keep, having interactions with people and being able to talk to them and direct them. And I think
That's
that's
really
so
great.
cool that they wanted it. Yeah, I think that's an important part, and I like that about Blood. It's still woven into the fabric to do live producer sessions. Because I know new shows try to do it, and I've been on new shows that have say, okay, yeah, we're gonna do live producer sessions, yeah, 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 and then like after 2 sessions, they're like, oh my god, this is too much. Like we can't schedule. Our ADs are like, this is too much, guys. But Blue Bloods, it's been that way since day one, so it's all woven into it.
Yeah.
So
Um,
it's clockwork for us.
well, you're kind of touching on my next question, which is how do callbacks or producer sessions work remotely? Is there anything else that we need to know in terms of that?
But just in Zoom, everything is Zoom. So
Okay.
we do that. I would tell people that if you're coming in on a phone, probably an iPhone, you're gonna come in sideways. Always. You're always gonna be on you. You can't see it, but
Right.
we can see it. Yeah, you're on the side. And I tell people like, no, I'm not. And I'm like, yeah, you are.
No, but you are.
I try to tell, and then they'll start talking, and then it's like, you're on the side. And then just why are they not doing that? So I just tell people like the minute you come in, take your camera because everyone has it set up in a tripod and they have to like screw everything out and that just takes longer. So everybody just have your phone just loose and
Mhm.
then just do that. Just do like if you have it vertical, turn it horizontal and vice versa. And then
Gotcha.
it recalibrates and then you're in and you're
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
And yeah, that's just the big thing that the I'm coming sideways. What? People, and then they start, and then again start freaking out. And they don't understand. Like what? Oh my god! And then that just blows the audition. I'm like, no, just
And the oh
put it in the
gosh.
chat. I'm like, and always check the chat because there will be writing things to you. So always just like look. I always do like who's coming up next because I know it's always startling when like you're
Right.
sitting there and you're like, ah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're in like a breakout room and all of a sudden you're live. It's like,
woman was eating
oh,
yogurt and she's like, ah. And I was like, I kept writing like the order so people know. So
yeah.
they're not startled when it happens. It doesn't really
Oh,
have like
I'm
much of
live.
a countdown. It's just like, yeah, it's like boom, there you are. And you're like, oh, and then 10 people looking at you. And you're like, ah.
Deer in the headlights.
Always even check the chat as well. We'll tell you when you're coming up.
Gotcha. Good tip. Okay. So for all of this, like all of the casting and everything, like as an actor, how if you don't book,
Mhm.
say you have, X amount of auditions and you don't book, is it still possible, how does that factor in to having a successful pilot season even without booking?
I think you still could because I always say cast directors have like a great memory. So if you didn't book one thing, we could be doing another pilot. You could be great for something else.
Hmm.
And especially on Blue Bloods, like we love the same people, and we will continue bringing people in all the time. The same. People used to think we used to go to Greenpoint, and they're like, "Oh, they're just dragging me down there." No, we like you. We want you to get it. Sorry, we have to drag you this far, but we like you. We want you to come in, and of course, when we find somebody we like, we'll try to find them a role. We'll look
Yeah.
for different producers and different roles we think they're great for, and continuously bring them in until we find something. And some people it's taken maybe 1 episode, some people it's taken 10 episodes, but don't get discouraged, I think. And you could still have a successful pilot season Maybe it's not this one, maybe it's the next one. But again,
Mhm.
pilots are year round now. So if maybe you
Right,
needed something during
right.
the network section of it, maybe you'll get something on streaming, something
Mhm.
on cable
Yep.
that will pop up.
All about just
Just keep
building those
going.
relationships, yeah,
Yeah,
and just keep
yeah,
doing your best work and
yeah, and just keep,
see
yeah,
what
and
happens.
know
Yeah.
that when people bring you in continuously, they're not messing with you. They want you to get the job, and we think you're right for a whole bunch of things, and come in and because people are like, oh, I gotta go all the way down to Greenpoint, and I'm like, but we like
Just an evil
you.
joke.
Yeah, it's evil, like it's evil to like how we made them come in the rain. It's like, no, we want you to get the job.
Plotting.
Checking it off. Haha. No.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
okay.
definitely I know that
Yeah.
there are offices who just love like a lot of the people and then just get into like a rotation of, oh, that's our favorite person. Oh, yeah, we love Jen. We love this person. We love that person.
Mm.
Yeah, I think yeah. Just because you don't book like in that little section with that month of the network pilots, don't think that, you can't get something else because there could be something else around the corner even better. Could be
Yeah.
some cool pilots, some Handmaid's Tale coming out,
Yeah,
just pops
right?
out of nowhere and just starts casting in June.
Yeah. I always think that, it seems like, in a way to like redirect the mentality, it's like when you don't book something, it's like it's just creating space for you to book over here, this other thing that
Mhm.
you haven't even seen yet. Like you said, something that's around the corner, out of sight as
Yeah.
a you know?
Even when we get jobs for shows, sometimes they just pop out of nowhere and it's like, hey, you want to interview for this new cable show about a rich family? And just came in like a random March day. So it happens for us too.
Yeah.
So yeah, you never know. Yeah, just
Good. Good, good, good to know.
there's always something else around the corner.
Yes. And yeah, you gotta keep, like you said, you gotta keep going. You have to stick with it because, you never know when you're gonna be crossing that finish line. Like sometimes you can't see it.
And every audition is practice too, and then you get better and better and better until then because even auditioning is its own craft. There's some people who are like fantastic actors but like really notoriously bad auditioners,
Yeah.
the famous people.
That's the thing. Yeah.
So just know that too, that doing an audition is its own art.
Yeah. True.
The
True.
more
Especially now that, even now it's its own skill and having to do it virtually or,
Mhm.
you know, by yourself in your bedroom kind of a thing
Yeah,
or in
yeah,
an airport bathroom.
yeah.
So what is your favorite part of what you do?
I love reading actors. I love being in the room with them. I give a little too in the scene. I try to do that. I try not to just read it off the page. Try to give a little bit. I'll give you like a little if you need the gun. I'll give you that. I give
Okay.
you like for like a hit. I get into it too. I'm like bang. So I love that. I love interacting with actors. I've always loved actors. I didn't want to act myself, but I always wanted to support them. And I've always like watched movies and TV shows, gone to Broadway, and I just love being around actors and watching them do their craft. Oh, when somebody does like a really like beautiful, like emotional audition, I'm like,
Oh
oh
man, oh that's so great. It's such an important, energy in the room. I think when that's the case, it's like you can definitely tell, and it just, it improves. I think what the actor is doing as well. Like it can only help,
yeah.
and it's so comforting to like have that level of support. So I applaud you for that.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I always want actors to know that in our office, you always have a friend in the room, and we want everyone to get the job. I always say, we want everybody to get the job. We don't want anyone to walk to the elevators or sign off thinking, they screwed up and they're hitting their head against the table. We always want you to have a great audition and feel good about it and walk away and feel like you did your best.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Um, Thank you for this. You have answered all of my questions so beautifully, and I really thank you for taking the time on the first day back. I know you're a busy lady, so I really appreciate it. And yeah, this is all really really great insight. I know there is a lot of confusion nowadays, obviously with COVID, but because everything is changing so much, and like we talked about, early on about how pilot season, when it actually exists. So
Yeah,
this is all really, really great to know, and thank you for your insight.
of course. Thank you so much Jen, for having me.
You bet, and we look forward to having you again.
Oh, yes, definitely. I'm here. I work from home now. So
I know, I love this virtual aspect. It makes it so easy. No matter where we are, we can just always connect. This is great.
Yeah, yeah, that's the one good thing about it.
Yeah, truly the silver lining. All right, thank you so much, Josy. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you again soon.
Brought to you by the Catalyst Story Institute.